हेलो हेलो। हेलो चेक। हेलो।
टेबल टेबल में। सब कुछ मिलवा दिया, ट्रे भी भेजवा दिया, कार्ड भी दिया। हेलो।
देखा लैपटॉप। ये 2 दिन का पुराना हो गया है फ्लावर ना।
हाँ सर, कल से है। हेलो हेलो। Father, did you yeah, the videos is back. पानी थोड़ा इसमें क्या 100 का रहेगा ना, क्या होगा सर? एक रहेगा, बोल दिया सर, आ रहे हैं हॉस्पिटल, आ गया है। एक बस सोफा रख दो, फ्री वाला रख दो, और बाकी हटा दो। टेबल भी एक ही रख। तो इसके या फ्यूचर जो रहेगा उसमें पैक कर दो, इसके ऊपर अगर लगाना साढ़े 7 बजे। मेरे थोड़ा जल्दी करने इसके ऊपर भी झाड़ू लगा दे।
ठीक है ठीक है, वो तो भी। पानी वाली मेरी ना खींचता कल के पानी में। लाइट म्यूजिक लगा दो।
कॉलर माइक या कुछ कॉलर माइक रहेगा तो जब वो आएंगे तब कोई रहना चाहिए उनको लगाने के लिए, नहीं तो सब लोग इधर ही चलेंगे। ठीक। हैंड माइक है फिर बाकी क्वेश्चन आंसर के लिए। ठीक है ना।
ऊपर आ जाओ पहले।
और बुलायो किसी को।
अरे आराम से लाइब्रेरी आया वो चेक करो खुलने के लिए। हाँ, किसको छोड़ने जाएगा?
फ्लेक्स मशीन।
विवेक उसके ऊपर कोई टिश्यू टिश्यू पानी ग्लास।
सर मैं भी थोड़ा देर में लगाऊंगा मैं भी ऐसा है। ठीक हाँ। ये जो टीम वाला है मिल जाएगा।
क्या?
ये हो जाएगा।
Hello, 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 hello. Hello, 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 hello. Hello.
पहले कहा है
मैं तो कॉल करेंगे. यहीं पे है. फिर इसको ऑन कैसे करते हैं? अच्छा, अंदर। नहीं, क्या करना है? नहीं, हमको नहीं करना, बस बोल दो। हाँ, जीवन में इंटरेस्टिंग है।
आज छुट्टी है पूरा दिन।
फिर आज ज्यादा हो गया ना,
आज कोई पूरे दिन।
सबका प्रेजेंटेशन।
क्लासेस जो भी कैंसिल हुई है वो उधर एकोमोडेट होगी। सेक्शन बहुत अलग है साथ में।
तुम एएमए में? अच्छा, कुछ खेल रहे हो?
इस भी होती है।
तुम्हारा बॉस है ना प्रोफेसर?
क्या आप आए हैं? मैं तो
टीम है।
वापस दिखा दें।
कितना सुंदर है ये, वो प्रिंट करके दिखा, इतना अच्छा लगा।
कौन सा वाला? जो पहले बनाया था। हमने आईएम बहुत देर वाला दिखा।
हाँ, देखा जब मैं
वो कितना स्टैंडर्ड है और कितना नॉर्मल सा है और अच्छा भी है। ऐसा भी नहीं है कि बहुत ज्यादा कुछ।
तुम्हारा मतलब नहीं है, तुम्हारा वो देखो, तुम्हारा गुस्सा आता है, मैं भी गुस्सा आता है, कुछ चाहिए।
उस टाइप के बन जाना तो काफी।
हम तो
एटलीस्ट अगर बन जाए तो हम एटलीस्ट टी शर्ट बनवा लें या भी जैकेट्स में भी बन जाए तो इस टाइप के जब इवेंट्स होते हैं तो पहन के रखते हैं।
सकते हैं।
ठीक है और हम उनके इवेंट से पहले आते हैं एटलीस्ट हाफ एन आवर बिफोर 15-20 मिनट्स पहले आते हैं
तब नोटिस कर, बताओ मुझे, देखा ना, जाने तो बात नहीं करते। हाँ, पास रहेगा, लगेगा। हेलो हेलो। हेलो हेलो।
नहीं तो पोडियम का नहीं बोले क्या?
I request everyone to please switch off your mobile phones or keep them on the silent mode. The guests are arriving.
चल रहा है.
Good evening and a very warm welcome to all our guests, dignitaries, faculty members, and dear friends. One of the secrets of life is to keep our intellectual curiosity acute. Keeping these true words in mind, I, Anushka Rastogi,
And I, Miracle Randani,
on behalf of IIM Raipur, welcome you to IIM Raipur's intellectual series, GyanVarsha, presenting the rock stars of India. This series brings together academia, industry, and purpose-driven speakers in an informal, intellectual, and social environment. It would help us to engage with visionaries, innovators, leaders who have dedicated their lives for betterment of our country, making them true rock stars of India.
it's a privilege to host the 12th chapter of the GyanVarsha series, an endeavor that was started by our director, Professor Ram Kumar Kakani, to bring the who's who of the intellectual capital of India to the Madai Auditorium. And dare we say, it has been a journey. We have seen some exemplary speakers talk about some crucial issues and inspire IIM Raipur in the process.
Before we begin, I would like to request Professor Rashmi Shukla to welcome our guest with a bouquet.
Moving ahead, we would like to welcome you all to an evening dedicated to exploring a theme that touches the very core of our shared human experience. This evening, we gather under the banner of a theme that is both profound and universally relevant, making life meaningful.
The theme before us is not just a concept, it's about finding joy in little things, cultivating gratitude, nurturing relationships, pursuing passions, and embracing simplicity. When we focus on positivity, kindness, and mindfulness, life tends to bloom in its most vibrant hues. Our distinguished guest speaker, Sri Bharatlal, with a remarkable background in policy making and reputation for innovation problem solving, will guide us through this exploration.
Now, I will have the privilege of introducing the guest for the series, Sri Bharatlal. Sri Bharatlal stands out as an esteemed figure with a distinguished background in academia and civil service. He holds a noteworthy research career at the All India Institute of Medical Sciences. His academic journey reached new heights with the attainment of a Commonwealth Fellowship for Research in the United Kingdom. Transitioning to civil service in 1988, he left an indelible mark through substantial contributions to water conservation, eco-restoration, and poverty eradication. Serving as the Secretary of the Lokpal of India and founding mission director of the Jal Jeevan Mission, he played a pivotal role in shaping key governmental initiatives. Assuming the role of Director General of the National Center for Good Governance in September 2022, Sri Bharatlal brings extensive policy-making experience, innovative thinking, and a history of collaboration with Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
Sir's significant impact on government, development, and crisis management, particularly in steering the nation through the challenges of COVID-19 pandemic since March 2020, underscores his leadership acumen. Having served as additional secretary to the then Prime Minister, Sri Ramnath Kovind, and as Principal Resident Commissioner of Gujarat, he actively fostered investments and spearheaded the state's global diplomatic engagement. Recognized for his innovative thinking and adeptness in devising solutions for intricate challenges, Sri Bharatlal stands as a key contributor to both national and international issues. Currently, as the Secretary General of the National Human Rights Commission, he continues to exemplify his unwavering commitment to public service. Sir, we'd like to welcome you on stage.
Good evening, friends. Color mic? Yeah, please. I think yeah, thank you. So once again, very good evening to all of you. It's a weekend. So I hope you are not in a hurry to go back to your hostel. So let me first and foremost convey my sincere gratitude to your director and who brought me here. And as very aptly described, just came here that it was the calling of Ram, so I came as a Bharat. So once Ram is calling, I think it's next to impossible for Bharat not to reach there. Whether it's a weekend or an evening, I think I have to be here. So thank you, sir. Thank you very much for having me here. And I'm very grateful to you and your faculty and all of you. And more importantly, for this warm welcome. I cherish this, your warmth and well, your eagerness to listen to me. I'm not going to deliver any lecture or talk. I would prefer that I'll share few life experiences, and at the topic suggest, making life meaningful. So today's topic is making life meaningful. We have to understand at what stage in life we transcend. At some stage, we just, without realizing, we study, we do our job. But at some stage in life, this realization start coming, that life is not only pleasure or it's a pursuit of power, but more importantly, it is something more. Something more. And today I would like to share that aspect, that when and how we realize that life is much more beyond merely pursuit of pleasure or pursuit of power. Merely studying, merely creating wealth, looking for job, settling down, that is one part of life. But I think there is a life much more beyond it. Friends, think about whomsoever in your last few years in your academic life, whom you study. Go back to your textbook. Think about who are the people who studied. It could be some freedom fighters. It could be some people who are policymaker. But the person you studied, he or she, always had some kind of impact on others' lives. They never lived for themselves. The person who studies, goes enjoying a good service, good, this thing, earns a lot of money, great life, but you don't study that life. I'm sure in business school also, you don't study in that context. You study it that, yes, this is a model to create wealth, but it's limited to that. Second thing is that this kind of successful people, I'm pretty sure that in this campus, in this building, you don't put their photograph or bust or anything and you admire that. Whom you admire? Why this country, like, let's say Lord Buddha? You put his bust or take Mahatma Gandhi. Why? I don't think I need to answer that. You know that answer very well, much better than me. You don't try to study Prince Siddharth, what he was doing as crown prince, all physical, pleasure of life, all facilities, everything he had. But we don't study him. Whom we study? Would we try to understand what we realize? We study him when he attained that enlightenment. From education, he went to next stage. He sat below that knowledge tree, and what you call, ultimate knowledge. He received that, and whole world that wisdom, because it made others' life much better.
Would you have the mic a bit up so that it's audible?
Hey, is it okay? Am I audible there? Thank you. Whom we study? That Gautam Buddha, Lord Buddha, when he achieved that knowledge, ultimate knowledge, enlightenment, what was that knowledge? It was not for himself. It was not for himself. This knowledge was for others. When it was impacting others' life, then we started studying. Take Mahatma Gandhi. You don't study that what Mahatma Gandhi, how he grew in Porbandar, what he did in England. He studied bar at law, and you start studying him when he was thrown out of a train in South Africa. And he started thinking, not about himself, that so many of us are being treated like this. And then we start studying him and what he did after that. The point I'm trying to make here is that at this stage of your life, I think you have to equip yourself. You have to equip yourself that you attain that enlightenment, that you are capable of thinking about others. But to think about others, I think it's very important that you have to become somebody first. And then only you are capable of contributing. If Lord Buddha has not attained that enlightenment, certainly you could not. If Mahatma Gandhi had he not studied that, didn't have that kind of knowledge, mere intention to do something, daily in this world, every day, I'm nowadays posted at National Human Rights Commission, and we can see that so many people get humiliated, insulted. So many people. I'm pretty sure that you must be seeing in your own, this thing. But they are unable to attain that enlightenment. And once they are able to attain that enlightenment, they are unable to make others' life better. That is very, very important. That part is very, very important. And if you see any public figure, now think about it, a country like ours. When India achieved independence, let's say one or two, any figure, let's take. Our food grain production was 32 million tons. We had let's say, population of roughly 32 crore people. Today you have population of 143 crore. But your food grain production from 32 million has reached to 520 million. Isn't it? So think about it, that for providing this kind of food security, somebody must have worked it. Somebody must have planned it, start thinking about it. A team was built, people started contributing, and we reached to that stage. Let's say economy, I think, which you are studying. The second aspect I would like to highlight, that it took 60 years for this country, from 1947. In 2007, we became $1 trillion economy. 60 years. But next $1 trillion economy, next 1 trillion was added in 7 years. In 2014, we became $2 trillion economy. But a third trillion was added in 5 years. In 2019, we became $3 trillion economy. Well, because of COVID, because of some disruption. The plan was that by 2025, we should be $5 trillion economy, but we couldn't achieve that. But imagine if this country is growing with this speed and on this scale. It doesn't mean that people who are working, they are working for themselves. If they are working only for themselves, that wealth creation, that creation of opportunities, it cannot happen. It means merely just thinking about myself, about me, my family, no, it's not going to help us. And here comes what we call making life meaningful. I'm not going to preach you, but I'll request you, think about it. What gives you happiness? Even you top some examination, keep yourself that result. Will it give happiness? The moment you share with your family, the moment you share with your friends, the moment somebody congratulates you, the moment somebody, this impact is everybody, then you feel that happiness. Happiness is never like that. Yes, I have achieved something and on my own, limited to myself, without sharing, I feel happy. No, it will not be happiness. Happiness will come only when you share with your friends, your family, your loved ones, then only. Same thing is in life, success. Success you achieve, keep it to yourself, somewhere in your cupboard. No, it will not give you happiness. It's not going to give happiness. You will get happiness when you share it. And here comes what you call, it adds that some meaning to your achievement, your success, and your.
You have your mobile out there?
No, I have kept it there.
Yes.
Like-
Give it. Is there anything wrong?
I can use like give it.
The problem is that bit low.
Sir, I profusely apologize.
Actually, sir,
कोई बात नहीं, I'll use put. Square. So I was telling that once you start sharing your success, I think it becomes more joyful. But for a moment, let's presume another situation that you are climbing on a mountain, on some hilltop. You reach there at that top. It could be in your personal life, in any event, And once you reach at the top, when you look back down below, how beautiful it looks. Why it looks? Because you have achieved something and you are looking back. This happens in your life. When people like us, we reach at the top in any field, any vocation, any area. So when you look back, the first thing you see that what you have done. You take that one moment off, keep that moment, whether it is that moment, whether we have been able to do or not. In public life, when people like us join public service, it is not only a job. It is not only a job. You get your salary, you get your position, you get your, the real joy that you have been able to change someone's life. You are able to, when you join private sector, you join, let's say, some hospital chain. Let's join any enterprise. The opportunities you create, the help you render to others, I think you cherish that moment. Those are the moments you cherish, Generally, I never share, my personal few things, but today I thought with this kind of, gathering, you might have heard, but I'll share one or two anecdotes and so some event in my life, how it changed. I joined civil service in 1988. In 1990, I went to Gujarat, and I was posted in tribal district, known as, if somebody is from Gujarat or that area, it is called Dance. It is a 99.99%, tribal people. And there was somebody has constructed a house illegally, and it was under construction. And as a young officer, a little bit more, was able to see only rules and regulation, not spirit. But of course, it was illegal construction, illegal. So I got it demolished. And when I got it demolished, when I was leaving that place, a lady came actually. And she has two small kids. One kid in her lap, infant, like few days old, another child, 1.5 year old, tribal woman. Hardly didn't have proper clothes, and and this child was recently delivered. And she said, while I was leaving, that आप तो पक्के मकान में रहते हैं, बड़े मकान में रहते हैं. So you don't know, it was 26 November actually. आप बड़े मकान में रहते हैं, and आपको ठंड नहीं मालूम है कि कोल्ड क्या होता है, ठंड क्या होता है. आज मेरा ये बच्चा जो है, ये मर जाएगा ठंड से. And same time, उसी period में, I too had a daughter actually. My daughter was born that time. So I was able to correlate. When I was leaving that place, I was able to correlate. And within no time, I started developing a kind of guilt. That, well, I mean, she might be right. But of course, somebody rectified, no, she's not right. She's constructing, she's living safely, but it is for her future, But anyway, we tried to help her and we got her house constructed. We did, all those kind of things. The point I'm trying to make is that if any event in your life, it forces you to start thinking. It forces you to start thinking about others, especially those have-nots, especially those, and you can bring some reform, you can make some contribution. That helps. That helps. I mean, take another example I'll give that if anybody, I mean, you can Google it. In 2007, I believe. In 2007, a news appeared in Hindustan Times that a postman killed IIT dream of a tribal boy. A postman killed IIT dream of a tribal boy. This story in Hindustan Times published in 2007. And this boy has qualified JEE. He got 83rd position. And IIT Kharagpur was conducting the examination. And he was living in somewhere in Bhubaneswar, I think, or Cuttack, somewhere. And this postman took, those days, letter. Twice he went there. His room was locked. He returned the letter and he didn't go for, counseling. And he lost his seat. He lost his seat. Now think about it. Somebody worked so hard and lost his seat. And he went to IIT Kharagpur, and then Dean, examination Professor Dubey, he told that, well, my son, you are late. And let's take this examination next year. Wish you all the very best. And at that point of time, in Hindustan Times, this story appeared. At the cost of embarrassing myself, I am sharing this story with you. I took up this story. I read that story, and I rang up, editor of Hindustan Times, found out the contact number of reporter at Bhubaneswar, spoke to him, and then got the paper. I was able to spoke this boy. And I got the papers. It was fact. And this happened actually, that he was staying in a rented room. And unfortunately, during daytime, he has gone for somewhere outside. And he couldn't receive that his call later. And when he went to IIT Kharagpur, they said admission is closed and nothing can be done. So at that stage, I took up his case in 2007. And this news appeared on 7th September. So you can understand, in July, session has already started, And cut the story short, I took up this issue with National Commission for Scheduled Tribe, that some injustice has been done with this boy, because it's the government department which was responsible for delivering this letter. Yes, he has made this mistake that he was not at home, but the punishment can't be so grave, so serious. And ultimately, the matter was taken up, and National Commission for Scheduled Tribe issued the kind of letter to Ministry of Higher Education and Department of Post and Director IIT Kharagpur, and then meeting took place. And at that stage, when I was asked to present his case, I just presented this much only, that this boy has worked very hard. Yes, he should not have gone out of his room. He should have kept on waiting. But suppose he has made this mistake, it is disproportionate to that mistake. And I'm very happy to this thing. Despite some opposition here and there, at the highest level, the decision was taken that one seat should be created in IIT Kharagpur, and this boy should be given admission. And so as I said in the beginning, that I'm going to embarrass myself, but I'm sharing from different perspective. As a young colleague, and you all have this potential to contribute, to make someone's life change. I genuinely, as you clapped, when I'm feeling down, when I feel some difficulties, some challenges, this gives me strength. By doing this thing, I have made my life meaningful. Forget about helping him. Forget about helping him. Keep this thing in mind. When you do these things, when you do public service, never feel that you are helping somebody. The reality is that you are making your own life meaningful. Keep this thing in mind, and you will find, you will develop this urge. I must do something. You are not doing any charity. When you do these things, no, you are not doing your charity. Really, you make life happen. And I tell you, it's not the chair on which I am sitting that makes me powerful, feel powerful. No. These are the things. When you impact someone's life, when you can do, and imagine if, had I read this, I had read this news, I had not acted on it. Indifference. I will not derive this happiness. So my dear friends, look for these opportunities. This is the thing which you are going to do. Whole life it gives you strength. And especially when you are down and out, you will realize its importance. You will feel, no, you are not an ordinary person. You can do that. And second thing is, never feel that anything, is impossible. It is not possible. This case mein 2 months ho gaye, how admission why can be given? Very natural, Director IIT Kharagpur, he was very right, 2 months had, gone through. How can you give some admission to somebody, But my argument was, though, it's not like aeroplane, that once admission has closed, seat has gone. Like once flight has taken off, whatever vacant seats are there is gone, No, it's not like that. It's a question of someone's life and death, So the point why I'm sharing this thing, that whenever you see this opportunity, you can help somebody. It means we have to develop that sensitivity. The first part is that we must develop this sensitivity. We read daily, on the street we go, we see so many things happening, but we are not sensitive enough to feel it. But if we can develop that sensitivity, I think you can bring that change. During COVID, suppose you are in position to help somebody, get somebody oxygen cylinder, get somebody admitted, get somebody, And when you are able to recall that, or that person somewhere, he or she comes to you, I think that. So when you do these kind of things, recent example, I'll tell you somebody, while being introduced, I think you mentioned about my COVID, So during COVID, for 1 year, I was working from March 2020 to April 2021. And in April 21, I picked up myself, this COVID. And my condition was pretty bad. And I was admitted in our Institute of Medical Sciences. In fact, for half of the day, I used to work in Indian Council of Medical Research, and half of the day, Jal Jeevan Mission, in the ministry, I used to sit. There I saw a young girl who had just completed her nursing. She was attending me, and my case was pretty bad. I was like touch and go. So this girl, she was very happy. So I asked her, as usual, because there is a very grim environment. She said, sir, after 4 days, she was attending in the ward, all of us. After 4 days of effort, I got my grandfather admitted. He was also suffering with COVID. And I got him admitted after 4 days. And now I'm sure I'll be able to, he'll get the proper treatment and will be able to save his life. Now see that girl. For previous 4 days, I never realized that she's undergoing this kind of thing. See the duty. She was saving everyone's lives. She was going through this kind of, never expressed her problems, never told us. And I'm pretty sure she had not told the director, Professor Guleria, Dr. Guleria. She kept on doing her duty. But her happiness came because she was able to admit her father. So I'll tell another case at the same time. I was not in a position to speak actually, but I used to see my phone and messages. This thing. So one day I was seeing my message and this thing, and some group one message appeared. The message was that somebody wrote in group that in Government of India, one officer at undersecretary level, his oxygen level has reached around 60. Around 60. And he may not survive for next, 10, 15 minutes, half an hour. I was not able to speak, and they had given his location that somewhere in Ghaziabad, if we can do. So luckily I saw that and I forwarded to collector Ghaziabad, because he was known to me. So he said he was also awake in the midnight, Straight. Unfortunately, he was also admitted in hospital. He has also picked up COVID, But he texts me, sir, I have 2 beds, 2 ICU, ventilator and, this thing. And I'll ensure that in next 15, 20 minutes, he gets picked up and, we do that. Anyway, he arranged and within 15, 20 minutes, he was picked up and his life was saved. Now, after 2-3 months, he kept on contacting me. I had lost 8-10 kg weight. I was unable to move and all those things. So he insisted after 2 months, that he wanted to meet me. So he came to meet me. And he, as usual, it's just that I survived because of you and blah, blah. But the point was, I was suffering. My life was saved. But his words gave me so much strength, so much gave me purpose of life, that after that, no, this vaccine development has to take place. It has to be completed. Vaccination has to be completed. It gave me a new purpose of life, that no, task is still incomplete. Get into it. You have to put your energy. You have to put your, And then I think we were working on vaccine development and deployment of vaccine, and 2 billion doses in next 8 months were added. My point, very limited point, is that please look for this kind of opportunity. Start thinking beyond yourself. And maybe in the process, you are making your own life much more meaningful. And trust me, when you reach at my stage of life, this physical position, it becomes immaterial. Property, house, money, doesn't make much difference. At my age, you can't go and eat daily in 5-star hotel or good restaurant and enjoy, So the cycle is something like that if we are in position to, these are the wealth we must create. And we are lucky, at least I have been lucky, that got this kind of opportunity, whether Jal Jeevan Mission or tribal development or vaccine development, or I think that I don't want to give long lecture actually on this subject, but few things I would like to say that when we are going for this kind of things, don't be superficial. That you are seeing the problem and that particular problem is solved. Let's take public grievance. Another example I'll give, public grievance. Suppose in National Human Rights Commission, in one state, one kind of right is violated. And you address that problem, get it resolved. But people like you and with your kind of education, it is not getting only that problem solved. The issue is going to next level. Why this problem is coming up? Why this problem is coming up in the all district, or month after month, why this problem is coming again and again. It means your job is systematic change. The second most important, and when you are able to do, imagine not only 1% or 10% or 100%, you are able to solve this problem of many. So the second important is that institutionalized systematic approach, not only one issue or one person. I think that is one area where we all have to work and we have to develop that, and which in your kind of education you are taught in and out, systems approach. That is one where we are going to work, Friends, let me share one or two more things about that how to improving our lives, what kind of things we can do. Another thing I would like to speak about is that we have to be deliberate and we have to be thoughtful. I think that is one issue, that when we are taking up any issue or discussing any issue, we should not be only very superficial. We must go under the skin, and we should try to go into deeper into and try. Take recent example of what happened in Uttarakhand, rescuing of 41. Just imagine those workers who went there. I mean, very dangerous. They entered that those 10-12 meters within 24 hours. They dig that, this thing. But they brought out those 41 persons. Imagine their self-esteem, the way it has gone. It was not money, but this thing that they saved 41 lives, which machines, best technology couldn't do that, but they were able to do it. I think that is one thing which gives you that strength and that kind of, So while summing up, that we should try to find a purpose of our life, whether find out your own passion, whatever you want to do, try to find out, and align your values with that passion, with that work, with that purpose. I think that is one area where I would strongly recommend that we should try to do. The second thing is that, building meaningful relationship, whether your colleague or at your home or your office. So meaningful relationship means nurturing that relationship, investing time, energy in that relationship, and engagement. That is the second, when we want to make our own life meaningful, I think instead of living in isolation, we have to go in that. Third thing is that how to continuously improve yourselves, learning new things, bringing new skills, and more importantly, challenging yourself. Not very content that whatever knowledge I have acquired, whatever skill I have acquired, I think continuously improving, continuously learning, and having that resilience, that not afraid of failure. When you are going to do these kind of things which are impossible, difficult, many times we might get failure. So not getting affected by this thing. And fourthly, what we call mindful living. We should be thoughtful. We should be thinking about others. We should be trying to identify those challenges and those issues, and developing that, that we are grateful. What we call, that concept we have to develop. It is very difficult for any of us to give any prescription that how to make your life meaningful. But yes, certain things we can do through which we can make our own life meaningful. And each one of you can build your own story. You have to decide what kind of a story you want to build. But one thing I will strongly suggest based on my own experience of life, that don't live for only yourself. Think about others. And that is going to be the biggest asset of life, especially during tough time, during challenging time. This asset, this strength, this will give you strength actually. And well, what we call that, even a small intervention, in small contribution, very, very small, things. I think that becomes the biggest source of joy. So I think I'll stop here. And better I would like to, if you have any clarification to seek, any discussion. And I think we'll try to explore this journey. We all are into that, to make our own life meaningful. So let me thank Director IIM Raipur, Professor Kakani, and all of you for this patient hearing. And I thank you for inviting me here and for a wonderful evening. Thank you all very much. Thank you so much.
We would like to thank Bharat sir for such an interesting session and for providing us with valuable insights on how we can make our lives more meaningful. The stage is now open for a Q&A session.
Good evening, sir. This is Anjali Singh Chauhan, PGB batch 2325. Sir, you talked about finding the purpose of life and aligning our values around that. So my question is, how do you think an individual can find personal meaning and purpose in contributing to the betterment of the society?
Kindly repeat the last point.
So how do you think an individual can find the purpose and the meaning of life to contribute for the betterment of the society?
See, as you all know that we are basically a reflection of our upbringing, culture and values in the surrounding where we live, the way we are groomed, the way we are, So each and every person, I have to find out my own. What gives me that ultimate happiness? Whatever work you are doing. I always say that if you are doing anything and in the process you forget time, you are not counting time. I think it means it gives you some kind of, you enjoy it. And from here, your sense of purpose evolves. If you feel that you are helping somebody, I can talk about myself, you can talk about yourself. Everybody has to just identify that what helps me. Very early, I realized that drinking water, sanitation, improved hygiene, it gives me immense happiness when I do that. When I work in this field, in this sector, ensuring clean tap water to every family, every household, it gives me happiness. So you have to find out that what gives you happiness. When somebody comes to me, he or she narrates his problem. So listening that problem and then applying my mind, how the person can be helped. It gives me immense happiness. Trust me what I'm going to say. Money doesn't excite me. I'm not saying that it should not excite you, but it doesn't excite me. But somebody if comes with a problem, I would like to listen to that problem. I really enjoy that somewhere. Enjoy in not that sense that you are enjoying someone's misery. No. In the sense that somebody is having a problem and I sense it, that is an opportunity to solve it. That gives me ultimate happiness. And its manifestation is that, well, I'm making my life meaningful. It doesn't take, a couple of months back when I came to National Human Rights Commission, one gentleman, class group 4 or group 3 employee, his wife is suffering with cancer stage 4 last whatever few months. So somebody told me, I called him. Why? So they told there is no chance of her survival. So I asked him what next can be done. So he told me that doctors have said that particular medicine has been developed in the US. It has not been approved in India. But if a medical board prescribe it, recommends it, it can be purchased. And it costs around 30 to 40 lakh rupees. And 3 doses can be given. Well, not guaranteed, because still approval has not been given. So it's in clinical trial stage. It can be, this thing. So I will generally never share, but because this kind of crowd, youngsters. So I said, okay. What I did, I picked up phone, spoke to health secretary, spoke to other people, arranged that, got the meeting convened, they recommended. Then it was that it can be imported from Germany or in UAE, but well, there was an issue that it cannot be brought in minus 40-degree temperature and all those things. Ultimately, we managed this thing, and these 3 injections have been got. 1 injection has been given and 2 is good. Now, please understand. As a Secretary General of the institution, well, the file is coming, I sign it or approve it or disapprove it, it goes that. But once I did this job, it gives me happiness. Maybe her life is saved. Maybe her life is saved. Right? It helps actually. Nothing goes, Please understand what I'm trying to say. I mean, few years back in SRCC, not SRCC, Sri Ram College of Commerce in Delhi. This boy, he did internship with me, and he wrote a paper. So I said, you send this paper. So he sent in some Asian, somewhere, East Asian conference in Thailand. So paper sent. He was supposed to go to present his paper. Most foolish thing to do. Last moment, he realized that his passport validity is only 5 months. And for visa, he needs 6 months validity passport. So he couldn't go that. Thank God, one day before, I just rang him up. Bhai, kya hua bhai? Some Astosh Poddar, I remember. What you did? So he said, sir, this thing happened. I couldn't go. I said, but you didn't tell me, right? We could have got your emergency visa issue, passport issued and all those things. But I said, okay, come, tell me. So he came and showed me his passport. Luckily, I knew Thai ambassador. I spoke to him. And he said, okay, as a special case, despite his passport, less than 6 months, we'll issue the visa. He went. But the most important part was his paper was judged one of the best. And that paper was responsible in some way for his admission to Columbia University. So what happens? What happens actually? It gives me happiness that my small intervention helped this boy to find, So your question is that you have to find out yourself what gives you happiness. And once you find out that, this thing, you will see that, it becomes much clearer. Thank you.
Good evening, sir. My name is Ashwini Dikshit. And sir, I just want to ask that how to avoid the pitfalls of the comparison in life so that we can focus on our own individual journey to find a meaningful life. Because sometimes these pitfalls pushes us towards a wrong rat race. That's all, sir.
I always, the way my mind works actually on these matters. In judging life, why I should be dictated by parameter decided by somebody else? I will decide my own parameter. Somebody say that your suit is better. I'll say my suit is better. What difference going to make? Why? Become indifferent to these things. Comparison, 2 persons cannot be compared. 2 persons cannot be compared. Their thought process cannot be compared. Their achievement, their contribution, nothing can be compared. It's the most foolish thing to do. Most foolish thing to do. Decide your parameter in life. When you are saying comparison, it means success. Well, decide your criteria for success. Once There are one or two my batchmate, they became a top industrialist. From All India Institute of Medical Sciences, they went somewhere and then, this thing, and they are very like, why should I compare myself with them? Right? Or why or she should compare herself with, everybody has his own role. You decide, So to me, success, my success in this, that, okay, I was instrumental. I was given an opportunity to contribute to work that, let's say, today, more than 130 million households out of 194 million households have clean tap water connection. I feel happy about it. Yeah. You decide here. But my friend, she is like one of the very neat and clean businesswoman. Very, very created huge wealth. Why I should compare myself with her? So my suggestion would be, don't compare with others. Don't compare this thing. Decide your parameter that, well, in life, these are the parameter, and compare yourself with yourself only with those parameters, on those parameters, where I have reached, where I'm going. So forget about it, that, it doesn't matter. After some few years, you realize it has no meaning. Suppose in Government of India, we have got 30, 40, 50 secretaries. Why we should compare? Tell me why I should compare. Everybody has the same pay scale, same, this thing, same, I mean, I know a few of my colleagues at that time who passed out from IIM Ahmedabad. Everybody reached to different places, right? Different positions. Why we should compare? Somebody went to banking, somebody to marketing, somebody went to some kind of in-house, this thing. There's no need to compare, because it's not going to give you anything. A very beautiful saying that when you start comparing, it is like onion, You keep on peeling it off to find the truth. You will find that one layer, two layer, every layer you remove, you have tears. And when you reach, well, there is nothing, a small rhizome. There is nothing to see that, So never forget. It will give you unhappiness, nothing else. Don't do that.
Good evening, sir. I'm Ashu Singh, PGP batch 2025. At the fear of being labeled a misanthrope, there are lots of people who require help all the time. And being at the Human Rights Commission, you must be receiving lots of requests. How do you prioritize whom to help and whom not to?
Whom to?
Whom to help and whom not to? And what's the priority order? Who should receive the help first?
Okay. Let me put like this, actually. In India, there is a, please understand, in democratic society, governments, first thing is, take out from your mind, government is always working for the betterment of people. Government is not trying to trample the human rights, There could be some officials at some level, because of ABCD reason, people's human rights are violated. Somebody is taking bribe, it means bringing indignity to the person. So his or her, somebody is providing poor public services. So, or let's say custodial death or police encounter or. So these things should be taken at three, broadly. A, such matter. Freedom of speech, custodial death, encounters, all those various kind of rights, actually, which has been guaranteed by the Constitution. Second most important part is quality of life. Clean tap water, right? Access to health care, so many things, The third thing is that there are vulnerable groups, transgender, traffic girls, destitutes, mental health, so people suffering with mental health issues in hospitals and, this thing, beggars, so many things. So in a country like this, institutional arrangement is, there is a national level, National Human Rights Commission, a state level, State Human Rights Commission, some function duties are distributed. National Human Rights Commission, it does that It doesn't put any kind of binding that in this format, with affidavit or this thing, anybody can make complaint with simple letter, email, online, whatever, this thing. And each has to be attended. There's nothing like prioritization. The prioritization has been done that's in case of, if I am correct, in case of custodial death, judicial custody or in the police custody, if somebody dies, within 24 hours, it should be reported to National Human Rights Commission. In case of encounter, in 48 hours. But all cases which are coming to National Human Rights Commission, there are two ways of dealing that. Once it comes, attended to, notices are issued, inquiry is ordered, and then heard, and compensation is given, directions are given, this. But second most important part is systematic changes, advisories, that if you are getting this kind of cases. So commission does a very, very deliberative kind of exercise that, well, open house discussion, taking views from everybody, having discussion. After that, advisories are issued for state governments or Government of India to rectify the. So every year in our commission, 1 lakh roughly, 88,000 to 1 lakh plus cases comes. Each case is dealt. As I said, in some cases, for reporting purpose and keeping in gravity of the situation and gravity of the case, they are prioritized and heard. But all cases has to be attended. It's not like that some cases will not be attended. So Human Rights Commission basically tries to protect and promote human rights. And B, most importantly, bringing awareness that people should be aware. And C, since government itself is committed on that part. Government is committed to protect human right of each individual, improving the life of vulnerable groups. You must have heard that in last 8-10 years, a number of act or bills have been passed. Mental Health Care Act, Transgender Act, so many, So this is a very standard process which I got.
Good evening, sir. I am Divyam Agarwal from PGP Batch 2325. So first of all, thanks a lot for such an inspiring session. I think every one of us wanted to hear such thing. So in your session, you talked about the can-do attitude, the always say yes attitude, always the possibilities that you can achieve. And I always relate it with the manifestation, the wish to manifest the possibilities and opportunities ahead. But when we fail once, when we fail twice, when we fail thrice, there comes a time when we are left with no wish to manifest the possibilities and opportunities. At that point of time, how to gather the courage to get all the hope that we have and try once again?
Well, so when it comes to opportunities, I personally feel that instead of looking for opportunity, you have to create opportunities. Wherever you are, wherever you are standing, I think opportunities can be created. There is nothing like this position, this post, this place is a great. It is in your hand to make your life better. So when it comes to opportunities, no, people like us, we don't believe in that, that opportunities will come to you. No, it never happens. You have to create opportunities. And once you create that, for larger benefit, let me slightly digress, No post, no position, no skill. See, for in your case, you can't say that X IIM is better than Y IIM. No, that is not the way to look at it. In my case, I cannot say that this post of secretary is better than this post or this post. No. Whatever you are having, you can make it better. And you can make it very meaningful by your deeds. It's not like that somebody so-called this is best and there the person is able to do something great. No, it's individual who matters. So opportunities, whatever, is available and what is given, I think it is possible. It is possible to make best out of the situation, and you can make your own life better, and you can make many meaningful contribution.
Thank you.
Good evening, sir. My name is Aniket Podar.
Sir, by the time when you were telling the story of the woman in the house demolition, I had this doubt in mind that there are times that we face that we can help somebody, but to help them, there is like the rules and regulations that have to be broken at times to help somebody. And when there's a dilemma between adhering to the rules and regulations or going an extra mile to help that person, how do we solve that dilemma and how do we draw that line in between?
See, no rules and regulation basically comes in the way of helping somebody, because all rules and regulation are basically made for what? We are not slave of those rules and regulation. Any rule, any regulation has been made what? Society should function better. The basic, it's a question of at what level and at what layer you are operating. That is the only question. Somebody makes the law, parliament makes the, right? After that, somebody makes the rule, bureaucracy at that level makes the rule. Somebody execute it, somebody. So it's a question of that if somebody has to help, and this rule, this law, this coming in picture are in between, it means it is just simple up that at what level it has to be taken. What level it has to be. You are not breaking any law. No. I have to see that, the question is that you might not be competent to do that part. So it means take the appropriate level. As I mentioned that this boy named Balram Tudu, now I recall. Balram Tudu, I could not have given him admission. No, I could not have got him admitted in IIT Kharagpur. It means what? I have to take up this issue at some level. So somebody who has got power, if you are able to convince the person, you should be able to do that. So never have this thing, because we are thinking in terms of direct that I will do directly like this. No, no need. In India, simple, ordinary people write public interest litigation to Supreme Court, one small letter, and see the kind of changes it brings. So it means you have to apply your mind, how to bring that change. How to bring that change. You must have heard hundreds of, public, not hundred, thousands of, public interest litigation. Supreme Court, took it as a petition, and after that judgment were given, which changed the people's lives. So if law is to be changed, how law is made actually? How law is made? If something wrong is happening, yes, people take up this case. You write column, you write in paper, you petition, it goes to NGOs, and government sees the matter with your representative, and law is changed. Amendments are brought, whether it's constitution or new laws. So never think in a very narrow sense that this is the problem, I should be able to solve it. No, there could be ways of solving the problem. And that ways, lawful ways. Gandhiji realized that, well, we need freedom. So freedom means what? Same day that he should have thrown out the Britishers. That is the way. But he developed the roadmap. How we are going to get it? It took, you can say, well, Gandhiji took from 1916 to 1947. But that is the way. So never, in a constitutional democracy, in this kind of system, rule of law, it means within the system we have to follow it. Because we are not here bringing revolution. There are means, and our constitution is like this, that whatever amendment, whatever changes you want to bring, it is so flexible that you can bring it. So it has to be taken right path, and there should be, your argument should be so powerful, so powerful. The idea should be so powerful that everybody takes it up. So believe in your, what we call, powerful ideas, and that way the change can be brought.
Due to the time constraints, we won't be taking any more questions. I would like to thank our esteemed guest for his valuable insights and immense contribution to our nation. On behalf of IIM Raipur, now I would like to request Professor Satyasiba Das, our Dean External, and Professor Saroj Kumar Pani to present our guest with a memento.
Sir, thank you for sharing your experiences with us and inspiring us this evening. On behalf of the students of IIM Raipur, Anuj will now present you with a special token of appreciation. As we come to the close of this wonderful evening, I now invite Professor Mrunal Chawra to deliver the vote of thanks. Sir, please.
Good evening, everyone. Let me start with quoting Ramayana. Hanumanji had to be reminded about his powers, extraordinary powers. Jamvanji reminded him during the crisis when Lanka was to be invaded. The rock stars addressing us reminds us the extraordinary power that we have not used so far. Thank you. Thank you, Bharatlalji. Thank you very much for reminding us what lies within. Thank you, Professor Ram, for bringing the rock stars and the opportunity to listen to these rock stars again and again. Thank you for reminding us the higher purpose of life. I think it would be not a bad idea to call again Ram and Bharat. They are reminding us again and again the higher purposes of life. Thank you so much. Finally, thank you, Vivek. Thank you, Professor Ketan. Thank you, Professor Ashapurna. And thank you so much. I know all my dear students, it has been a very long day. Thank you so much for being so patient and wonderful audience. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir.
All the students are now requested to please stand up for the national anthem. All the students are requested to remain seated while the guest leaves the auditorium.
You all very much.
Good job, guys. Thank you.
Students, please remain seated. CRs will take your attendance.